Thank you, Chancellor Sabrano, President Linton, deans, faculty, for this honor. Graduates, it's a privilege to be here with you today to share your special moment. And today truly is your day, the culmination of study, hard work that has honed your skill, passed those darn exams, and now you are ready and poised to make a difference, to follow your dreams with persistence, hard work, imagination, and caring for many other people in your lives, but also for our environment. I'm going to share some songs and stories today that have inspired me along my path. But don't worry, I am not going to start singing. 70 years ago, Rodgers and Hammerstein penned a hit musical called South Pacific that sent a strong progressive message on racism, backed by award-winning writing. In that musical, there was a song called Happy Talk. And very early in my restaurant career, Captain Sensible, a pop musician from Britain, recorded that song, and it went to #1 in the UK single chart. And no wonder. It had the very simple message for lifelong happiness. And that message was, you got to have a dream. Because if you don't have a dream, how are you going to make a dream come true? Tomorrow, graduates, your dreams enter a new dimension as graduates ready to start your career in your chosen profession. Now let's talk a little bit more about your having and living a dream. 165 years ago, Henry David Thoreau wrote on Walden Pond in 1854, and this seminal book has been inspiring environmentalists like me ever since. He lived on a pond in tune with nature, with very few material wants. One of the stories in the book he describes, he's contemplating going on a very long journey, a walking journey. And a friend of his says, well, gee, I'd really like to go with you, but I'm going to need to work for a few months to get the money so I can afford to go with you. Now his response was to go on the trip without waiting for his friend. Thinking that his friend really wanted to join him, he would do it right there and then. And if Thoreau waited, he might never go on that trip that was so important to him. Now Thoreau inspired many leaders with great dreams. Leo Tolstoy, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, just to name a few, Jr. And if you've not had the pleasure of reading Thoreau's book, let's take this one little piece of advice from him. Live your dream. Your dream is yours alone, unique to you. And if you have a big dream, plan for it. Do it. And don't let others derail it with distractions, delays, or disruptions. And graduates, you might say to me, oh sure, I have a really big dream, and I'm dreaming so big, I really don't know if I can do it. Can I? A barrier to pursuing dreams are doubts. In Cancer Ward, a novel by a Nobel Prize-winning author, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, he said it in a post-Stalin hospital where conditions were primitive, the outlook was bleak, and the patients struggled to find hope. In one passage, he describes what it takes to succeed against overwhelming odds. He describes a lump of coal in one's hand and the perception of the coal as being the problem. He speaks of overcoming doubts with the strength of your mind, knowing that if you have that strength, you can transform that lump of coal by crushing it into a bright and shiny diamond. Now, throughout history, individuals have turned lumps of coal into diamonds. Graduates, it's now your turn. As you park on your professional pathways, there will be opportunities to take action to make the world a better place. 38 years ago in 1971, John Lennon and Yoko Ono wrote Imagine, the best-selling single of their career, where they challenged us to live in peace and harmony. This message of hope is celebrated as one of the greatest songs of all time. And yet, in the 38 years since its release, Peace has become more elusive. We live in discord with disregard for the planet and the well-being of future generations. Who knew that in 2019, young Greta Thunberg would lecture our world leaders at the United Nations for not following this sage advice? Leaders care about economies, show no concern for collapsing ecosystems, mass extinctions, and people suffering from climate change. Greta made a simple point. We can no longer imagine change. We must take action to provide change. Graduating in 2019 comes with new expectations and new responsibilities that grow ever more pressing with each passing year. I'm speaking about the climate crisis, and generation after generation of our leaders have promised much, and yet they have delivered little. And now we're facing the consequences. 95 years ago, in England, a boy was born. As an adult, he pursued a career in education that would take him from his home isle to Tasmania, of all places, and finally here to York University. Now, he inspired many students in his day, but this is a story about one student, and that's me. As the master of Calumet College, Professor Eric Winter fostered a community of caring individuals devoted to enhancing the lives of their students. In my particular situation, my thirst for knowledge, my path to graduation, was hampered by what today would simply be called a learning disability, the ability to spell. Now, in the days of manual typewriters and no spell check, if you can imagine, and three-inch thick dictionary, for me to write an essay was an impossibility. Now, but Eric, bless him, Professor Eric Winter, bless him, looked at me not as a person, not as a failed student, and when it became obvious to me that I would leave York without a degree, he was there to assist me. He wanted to start a restaurant, he said yes. He enabled me to receive mentorship from business students so I could approach a bank with a business plan. And when I successfully opened my first restaurant in July of 1978, La Maison, it was because of Eric's support. Now, that was an incredible gift, because that led to 40 years of me living my dream. Today I own a national wine distribution company that has been carbon neutral since 2005. Now, I'm often approached by individuals seeking help and advice on their career paths. I always take the time to say yes to meet with these individuals, to listen to their stories, give them my best advice, and encourage them in pursuit of their dreams. Now, just this morning, one of the professors here, Professor Mead, contacted me if I'd be willing to talk to her students about marketing environmentally products, and we've already set the dates. That was this morning. Anyway, I want to tell you about my latest big dream, and that is the one to create something that no one's gone before, and that was to create a range of classic wines that would be produced in the classic wine growing regions of the world, made by families, artisanal wine families. They had to be excellent quality, excellent price, but more importantly for me, as an environmentalist, we had to import them into the country in a carbon neutral manner. Now, I approached 10 wineries in 6 countries, and my goodness, they all said yes. Now, this is where the doubt comes in, because I had to name the brand. And I tossed one name around after another, and I went, years were going by, and then a friend of mine said, you know what, Steve? If you want to be taking this project, be taken seriously, you better put your name on it. So Steven Campbell Kind Wine was born. Now, as an introverted farm boy from the wilds of northern Ontario, I had to put aside my doubts that anyone at all, would ever want to buy a wine with my name on it. But for the long-term success of the project and the opportunity to polish a diamond, I had to acquiesce. With the support and generosity of many wine producers, and united by a vision, we created the world's first carbon-neutral wine brand. Now, these wines are actually being released across Canada as we speak, just in the last few months in Alberta and British Columbia, And on the end of September and October 26th, 3 of my wines, 3 Campbell kind wines, all carbon neutral, created by iconic producers from New Zealand, South Africa, and Spain, will be released at the LCBO. Wow. Anyway, but there's even a bigger dream here. And that's the unexpected dream of being awarded an honorary doctorate of anything. No one's more surprised than me, but here I am. And I want to tell you one thing. The first thing that happened, when I received an email that President Clinton wanted to speak with me, the first thing I did was I Googled her name to make sure that I wasn't a scam. But, true story. Now, I mentioned someone who was born 95 years ago, a few minutes ago, and Professor Eric Winter, and he is the reason I'm standing in front of you today. But what I really want to say is hello to Eric. He's sitting here in the front row. He's 95 years of age. He's here today, and I want to personally thank him. Eric. I want to thank all the other York University professors who believe in, encourage, inspire students every day. Thank you. And also to my family who are here with me today, my wife, my daughters, they're out there I know, colleagues, thank you for joining me. I'm grateful for the opportunities and experience I've had in which I've been able to give back and live my dreams. A few parting words. Say yes whenever you can. Make the world a better place. Live your dreams. Thank you so much.